Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel, the Python Gurukul. Today we'll be talking about Pytest Marker. We will be exploring all about markers. We'll be talking about what are the built-in markers, custom, and then we'll be seeing how we can, at the runtime, we can choose the markers and then see the list of all available markers. So lots of talk. Let's keep moving. So markers are kind of tag. If we want to categorize our test cases so that at the runtime, either we can choose, escape, select, make the group, or do any kind of selection or deselection, then the markers are handy. There are lots of markers. We'll be talking about the one of very important, frequently used, and those are parametrized, skip if, and xfail. We have already recorded video on parametrized, so I'll highly encourage to go to the link, explore the parametrization. About this, keep want to bring your attention only on the first line of this particular code. This is the test case. We have been looking at the writing the test case so far, but now we are looking how to mark the test case with some specific marker. So syntax is very same. At the rate pytest dot mark and then the marker. So we are using built-in marker skip, and then we have option either we can use the optional region as specified. That's very handy. So what happened? If the test case is marked with escape at the runtime, this particular test case will be excluded from the run. What if we want to exclude the test case but on some certain condition? For that, we have another marker, escape if, and then we can add the condition. Here we are saying if the book person is less than 2, then only include, and everything remains the same. Let's talk about the next one. This xfail is mostly used for negative test scenario. And if the test case fail, it will mark them xfail. So we know that it was supposed to fail. If the test case pass, it will mark the XPASS. So we know that, okay, this test was supposed to pass. About these examples at the end of the live demo. But let's keep moving and talk about the built custom marker. So far we have been talking how to use built-in markers, and now we'll be talking about how to create our own markers. So many times we would have heard that smoke, mat, regression. So these are the different categories which is frequently used in test community. So what do we do? While writing the test case, if we are writing some sort of test case that belong to the particular category, we can use the marker. And adding the marker is as simple as using the built-in marker. So syntax is exactly same. Now instead of giving the built-in markers, we are giving our new name marker. So you will be asking question that how PyTest know that this is the marker and what to do. Yes, PyTest does not know that. That's why if we have the marker and if we have not told about the marker to the PyTest, then PyTest will use, but it will throw one warning talking about the smoke. If you do not want the warning to be displayed at the runtime, just simply add the info to the PyTest saying that pytest.ini in the PyTest, we are going to list this particular marker smoke, and this name should be matching with our new name. So what we did in this example, we created new marker smoke, and here we have registered that marker. So by this information, our marker is added, and now PyTest know that yes, it is the marker and will not throw any warning. So that's very handy. So let's move on and look at the runtime how we can select on the select the test cases on the basis of the markers. So here we are saying that list select all the test cases which have been marked with finish and exception. Here we are saying that select all the test cases which are finished but not the smoke. And we can have our various different way of writing our Boolean logic here. And the last one was very important. So saying pytest markers in the command line, we'll be able to list out all the available markers at that place. Let's change the gear and talk about our live demo. So I'll bring the first one where we are talking about the skip. Here I have two test cases, one marked with skip, one have no marker. So I'm going to run this test case and we'll see that the logic of skip, and it is going to skip the test cases which have been marked with skip. And here is the test case. So two test cases, one is skip and one is pass. That's very handy. Let's go back and take a look at another very similar test case. And here we are saying that skip if, very same test case, only with the condition true. If the condition met, this test case will be excluded and run the skip if as well. So only one test case was there and that was marked skip. If condition met, and then we see that there were no test cases run. Only one test case was there and that was skipped. So xfail. As I told, xfail is little bit kind of we have to develop our own mental model to understand this one. So I have three different examples. One is we are saying xfail, and we can see that this condition where we do not have the particular capability developed, this test case is going to run, and this test case is going to fail. But as we have marked as a fail, this will be called as or displayed as xfail. The next one, xfail, but we see that condition is true and we know that we can compare book 1 to book 2. This is the exactly same book, so it will be passed, but it will be not pass. It will be passed as a XPASS. That's the beauty of xfail. So our end user know that yes, it has passed, but it has been marked as a xfail, so we can count them as a negative test cases. The last one, xfail, but I want your attention, all your attention to this particular attribute. We are saying strict true. So from the previous example, we saw that this test case will mark as a pass and the result will be X pass, but the next one is strict true, means it doesn't count them as a pass. So it is passing, it is supposed to fail, and that's where it is strictly true, and then it will be counted as a fail. So this one will be counted as the failed, X passed, and X failed. So now let's go to the command prompt and bring the X fail test case. Three test cases were selected, and we can see that failed, X failed, and X passed. So by looking at this, you should know that okay, this test case has failed, but it was supposed to fail, supposed to pass, and it has been marked as a X fail. But this one failed, which was supposed to fail, but it passed. That's where this particular test case has failed, and our test developer will take a look at this particular text and try to debug what went wrong. So now we'll be taking a look at a very interesting example, and that is the smoke one. So what we are saying here, we want to select the test cases on the basis of the marker. So in this particular directory, I have set up some test cases where we can do smoke or maybe match or maybe exception. So I have just listed out that any test cases from this particular directory matches with marker smoke, mat, or except, select all of them. So let's see what will happen. So from here, 10 test cases were there. Three were deselected because they did not match our criteria, smoke or mat or accept. So what I'm going to do it now, I'm going to little bit do logic here and say that mat, smoke, not mat, smoke or mat, but not accept, exception. So run all the test cases which are marked with smoke or marked with the mat, but they are not marked with exception. So let's see. We can say select all the test cases which are marked the smoke but not with the match. Similarly, we can do smoke and not exception. And let's see what happens. So now we can see that we can just do the logic here and select the test cases on demand, the last one. So we need to find out that which all markers are available. And by just saying markers, now we can see that here we have markers, filter warning, skip if, xfail, parametrize, and these are the new one. So by looking at these, we'll be able to list out all the markers, and that's very handy and very useful. And if you like my video, please do not forget to share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.